Hey, everybody, this is Nat Green from Dentistry Insider, and welcome to our inaugural Dentist Industry Spotlight. Today, I have a very special guest, Richard Patrick from CompanyGrowthPros.com, and we're going to share some really cool stuff with you as far as how to basically get more tax savings, more tax planning, so you can obviously save more money and apply that towards building your dream practice. So without further ado, we'll hop right into it. Welcome, Richard. Great to have you here.
No, thanks for having me, Nat. I appreciate it.
Awesome. So instead of me killing it, why don't you just tell everybody as far as what you do, the industries you work with, and how you can help dentists get more tax savings?
Typically what we do, we help a lot of professional practice owners, developers, people involved in real estate. We help them reduce their taxes and reach their financial goals, especially with the new tax laws. Most people aren't getting the proactive tax planning advice. Oftentimes, like I just had a restaurant owner yesterday, he built out his, or last week, he built out his restaurant and we showed him a couple of ways that he could reduce his taxes. And he said, well, nobody's coming to me telling me ways that I can reduce my taxes on a regular basis.
Right. Unless you actually are working with somebody who's a professional like yourself, like most CPAs or like bookkeepers and stuff, they just don't know this kind of stuff. Is that right?
Well, yeah, or it may be a case where most tax professionals and accountants, they're working on information that happened in the past. And not enough attention is given to how to reduce the tax liability moving forward.
Gotcha.
And there's not a cohesive or comprehensive plan between an estate planner, a tax planner. So a lot of times you may have your financial pictures compartmentalized. So if we combine, we put together a team of experts that we all work together to help our clients reach their financial goals, reduce their expenses as low as possible, reduce their taxes, increase their net worth, build their practices up so that they can walk away and sell them one day for the number that they need.
Right. Very cool. And so what different types of things would you do, or what areas might you help a dentist as far, like, can you do different tax credits or tax savings for the employees, and as well as I know the buildings that you've mentioned? What are the different areas where you can save some big chunks of tax?
Man, it varies. It all depends on their individual situation. So what we do is it's almost like financial triage. We ask a bunch of questions or some questions just to figure out what their goals, what their plans are. I mean, so if they're selling a building or renovating a building, there may be some advanced planning they can do. They can avoid taxes. If they're transferring the business, or if they're building new practices or acquiring practices, there's certain ways that it needs to take place. Depends on whether or not their partners involved. Do they have the proper financing structure in place? So oftentimes they can reduce their taxes when they're selling a building, buying a building, renovating a building. They can get additional tax credits based on who they're hiring and the demographics. Their state, local, and federal tax incentives or tax credits that a lot of people aren't taking advantage of. So there's just a big picture. So we ask all the pertinent questions so that we can figure out the best plan of action so that they can, and we work with their CPA. If they're happy with their CPA or whatever, we work with their CPA to make sure that they're getting the maximum deductions allowable so it applies to their situation.
Gotcha. So it's a very case-by-case situation. So you're diving in deep, and it's not like a one-size-fits-all sort of tax plan. It's very specific to whatever situation that each dentist might be in. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, there's thousands of pages in the tax code, and whatever applies to their situation is what we use, and then we give their CPA the information they need. So anything that they need, we can give their CPA the reports they need so that they can validate the deduction, and they send it in with the return. So we just have to ask the right questions and figure out what works for them, crunch the numbers, and then get it back to them. I mean, we employ and contract with people that are much smarter than I am. So, I affectionately call them tax nerds, so that I'm a money nerd and a cash flow savings and an enhancement nerd. But so we have different people that do different things in their specialties. That they specialize in different areas.
Right.
We put it all together and make it work.
Very cool. And so what is the process for somebody who's interested in saving a bunch of money in taxes? What would they like if they're interested in getting hold of you, and what kind of time frame? Like, explain a little bit more about that, how it all works.
Well, typically they'll just we'll schedule an appointment where we do a consultation, and we, like I said before, financial triage. We ask certain questions about their plans, their existing situation, and then that way we can possibly uncover some potential savings, and then we verify those savings with documentation. And so we kind of spend our money to see if we can save them some money first with our time. And then if we can save them money, usually we save them minimum 2 times what they pay us. It's usually 10, but most people we don't tell people that because they don't believe it. So we schedule an appointment. They go to our website, companygrowthpros.com, and get on the calendar. And it's no pressure. Either we can help you or we can't. If we can't, we'll tell you if you maximize all your deductions, then you're great. If not, like for example, we just had a dental practice. They reduced their taxes by about $200,000, $240,000 a year.
Wow.
So now they're putting that money towards a tax favorite retirement plan because they were a little behind. So they were going to pay the money anyway. So you might as well put it to work for you. You're in a safe vehicle. So we have advisors that help them with that, and we give them options. We don't push any specific product or service. We ask questions and we make recommendations based on what experts. We compare all the numbers, all the options. That way they can see what's better for them.
Right. So $240,000 savings, that's obviously, pretty impressive. Is that something that would be average or on the high side or on the low side, or I guess it all depends? What would you say?
Yeah, usually for most of our clients, it usually ranges, on the low side, about $70,000 or $80,000 sometimes. And sometimes it's just like $15,000 or $20,000 just by making a few changes. But typically when we are dealing with, building owners, doing renovations or whatever, it's usually, a 6-figure savings.
Wow. That's pretty impressive. And so you were saying that you spend your money before they need to spend theirs. So it almost sounds like, and maybe you can expand on this a little bit, like, I guess it really is like a no pressure kind of thing. It's like you do the work first.
We take
if
all
numbers make sense, then the dentist can decide to go ahead with it. And at that point, they already know if they're going to spend money to hire you, that they're getting X amount of dollars back. So they already know ahead of time before they say yes, that it's in their favor to do so. Is that correct?
Correct. So we'll take the information, see if we can help them, and then come up with some figures, and then we engage from there. So we know moving forward that we're going to save them money. We just need to back it up with documentation.
Right. And so how long does that process take? I guess, so maybe once they've scheduled a call and they've had an initial consultation with you, how long would it be before they know that they're getting X amount of dollars back?
Well, typically we'll spend 20 to 30 minutes with them on the phone or on a virtual meeting like this. And then we'll go through and we'll show them the savings, their potential savings, and we'll say, okay, we need a depreciation schedule, or we need a few statements, or redacted return. We don't need sensitive information. We need the data so that we can run the numbers and then get back to them in, 2 to 5 days.
Wow. So pretty quick. It's not like a month or, multiple month kind of situation.
No, well, the realized savings, once we determine, may take a month or 90 days, or, it may be able to credit some of their savings in the next quarterly payment. But yeah, we'll find out within a week or two at the most about how much money they can save. Then it'll take anywhere from 30 days to 90 days to realize that savings.
Right. Which waiting 90 days for 240,000 or whatever the number might be.
I think it might be worth the wait.
Right. Right. Wow. That sounds really cool. And so, so obviously you can work with dentists, and I mean, obviously, I guess some of the dental suppliers as well, or manufacturers that might have their own buildings. And you can do stuff with a number of different industries, but
yeah, even if they don't own their own building, if they've done some renovations or, if depending on the style, because a lot of companies and practices don't own the building. So it's just an additional way to use some creative financing to reach your goals. If you own a building, you have more options if you own a building.
Right.
Things we can do, we can get you some tax savings so that you can buy a building and add to your, increase your wealth. It's just, I believe in it. Some of the designers and the architects that work on the practices, the practice design, the building design, the build out, the contractors, we're able to help them as well. So, anybody that's involved in, buying and selling real estate or construction developers, we work with, people that own golf courses. So it's a wide variety, but typically, people are making money in real estate now. A lot of the developers, plumbers, contractors, especially architects and engineers, we really save them tons of money. So
right. So it sounds like that there's a number of different ways that you can help dentists. And is it safe to say that even if they don't own the building, that there's still multiple ways, whether it's hiring or renovations, like you just said, like there's a number of different things. They don't have to own the building, but would you say it's fair to say in most cases that you can save a dentist money in one way, shape, or form?
Sure, because do they have the proper entity structure? Do they have, what's their exit plan? Are they making the business valuable enough to the right kind of buyer? If something were to happen to them, could the business continue? If they were to get sick, have a stroke, get in an accident, what's going to happen? What's your plan? The person that you're going to sell to, how are they going to finance it? Where's the money coming from? Are you going to stay on and consult? A lot of those things are part of the planning. If it's done incorrectly, can cause more problems. So that's why we have experts in all those areas to make sure that they have a complete plan so we can plug the holes. If there's a leaky hole or bucket somewhere where they're leaking profits or their plan is not structured properly, it can cause a problem down the road that they don't even know about.
Right. Which that really actually makes a lot of sense, because obviously a lot of dentists are owner operators, and they are the business, even though they've got their staff and stuff. They might be the single dentist. So if something happens to them where, obviously heaven forbid, they get sick or get in an accident or something like that, I mean, that is their livelihood, and that could really, just kill their business. So not having the proper preparation in place could really do some damage. So obviously it makes sense to have those things in place, I guess, right?
Yeah, and that's where comprehensive planning comes in. It's not about a service or a product. What's your overall plan? What's your debt structure like? What are you spending personally? Do you have personal debt? Do you have business debt? Do you have, are you paying for your kids' college costs? Can you lower those? Can you reduce your kids' college costs? What's your debt load? So a lot of those things come into play, because a lot of those things you can't really do in a vacuum because it affects your financial life in so many different aspects. So we look at everything.
Wow. Very cool stuff. So to me, it sounds like a dentist would have to be crazy not to at least explore the option, really. I mean, because you can do work in a number of different areas to help a dentist in whatever stage they're at. And it's almost like a no risk. They get to see the numbers. It really makes sense that a dentist should check this out and have a call with you, at least is what it looks like to me anyway. I'm no expert, but like say for instance, like with you, like we collaborate with some of them may not have enough patient flow. I mean, are you maximizing your database enough, or what's your marketing? So that's why we have marketing experts like yourself that we work with, so that they can maximize their income, make more money, and keep more of it. Very simple. Right. Win-win. Yeah. Very cool. Well, awesome, Richard. I don't know if there's any other questions that I might have missed, but is there anything else that you can think of that dentists need to know as far as tax planning and looking ahead to the future?
No, just get it done as quickly as possible, and as pain free as possible. We're all busy. No, that's pretty much it. Just get some help, find out where you may have some issues or some risks that can be minimized, and what are your opportunities. Take advantage of your opportunities. That's why we're here, to help you reach your goals. And if we can help you, we'll tell you. If we can't, we'll tell you that too.
Very cool. So again, so anyone that wants to reach out to Richard and take him up on a consultation call, it sounds like it would definitely be in your best interest. And I guess the best way to do that is through your website at companygrowthpros.com, and they can just book a spot on your schedule. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Well, there you have it. That's the first edition of the Dentistry Insider Spotlight. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you got a lot of value from it. And of course, thanks to my guest, Richard Patrick of companygrowthpros.com. Feel free to reach out to him for more information on how you can get more tax savings and put more money away for your future. Of course, if you want to be featured in your own dental spotlight, to make sure to go to dentistryinsider.com/spotlight to get all your questions answered, everything that's involved, and of course, how it can help you get more patients in your practice. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you real soon.